welcome to the time management course. Successful student, thriving entrepreneur, or someone who seems to be constantly get the right thing done without burning out. None of these people succeed simply because they work harder than everyone else. They succeed because they are clear about what matters the most. They protect their time intentionally. They have a clear system that keeps them on track even when the difficult days. They know how to stay focused in the world that constantly pulls their attention in every direction. That is exactly where time management comes in. And this skill is becoming more critical than ever. According to Microsoft 2023 Work Trend Index, a study of 31,000 workers around 31 countries, the average employee spent 57% of their time communicating in meetings, emails, chats, and only 43% of actually creating or producing meaningful work. That means more than half of every working day is gone before a single important task even begins. The same research found that 68% of people they do not have enough uninterrupted focused time during the work days. And according to Asana's Anatomy of Work Index, 7 in 10 workers experience burnout every single year, with overload, unclear priorities, and lost time to coordination listed among the leading causes. Gallup's research puts an even bigger number to this. The drop in employees' engagement alone cost the world economy $438 billion in lost productivity in 2024. This shows that the poor time management is not a personal inconvenience, it's a global crisis. In this course, we'll build your foundation in time management step by step. You will understand why time disappears even when you feel busy, what actually happens in your brain when you are procrastinating, and why the standard advice so often fail in the real life. You will explore the pattern that causes the people to delay, the system that actually works, and how to build the habit that do not depend on motivation or willpower. You will learn how to protect your focus in always-on world, and how to manage your phone and digital distractions, how to use modern tools like AI to save your time without losing the thinking that makes your work valuable. By the end of this course, you will not just know the time management concepts, you will understand how to apply them in your specific situation, in your specific challenges, and in your actual day. But before we move on, let me share something exciting with you guys. If you are serious about building a strong career in project management, then PMP certification training in collaboration with Simplilearn can be a great step for you. This course is designed to help you understand project management in a practical, structured, and exam-focused way. You will understand the concepts like project planning, work background structure, resource allocation, Gantt chart, risk and issue management, stakeholder communication, cost and budget planning, schedule planning, agile, hybrid delivery, leadership, government, and value-based project deliveries. What makes this course even more useful is that it covers modern project management skills like Gen AI in project management, sustainability, business value, and real-world decision-making. So whether you are a project manager, team lead, software developer, project executive, engineer, or someone who wants to move into the project management, so this course can help you build confidence, structure, skill that needs to manage project better and grow in your career. Hello and welcome you all to the time management course. Time management is a skill of deciding where your attention goes and making sure the thing that actually matters to you in the real time in the real day. It is not about doing more than faster. It is about doing the right thing and having enough space left for the people and work you actually care. In today's world, everything competing for your attention every minute, every day. The availability to manage your time is one of the most important skills you can build. Whether you are a student, a working professional, a parent, or someone building something of their own, the way you use your time shapes the result of your entire life, each designed to give you a clear and practical understanding of how to take back your control in your life. In Module 1, Understanding Time Loss, Procrastination, and Productivity Barriers, you will learn why your time disappears even when you feel busy, what is actually happening in your brain, and why you keep putting things off even when you do not want to. In Module 2, Identifying Individual Time Management Skill and Behavioral Pattern, you will understand why different people struggle differently, how your situation changes everything, and the real reason behind your procrastination pattern. In Module 3, Applying Effective Time Management System, Tools and Techniques, you will handle a system that actually fits your life. Choose one simple method and know exactly how to start using it right away. And in Module 4, Building Sustainable Focus, Habit, and Long-Term Productivity, you will learn how focus works, how to build habits that do not depend on motivation, how to create a simple one-page plan you can follow starting today. And finally, in Module 5, Time Management in the Age of AI, Overlap and Always-On Culture, you will know how to use modern tools like AI without losing your focus, how to protect your time in an always corrected world, and how to make sure productivity actually leads to meaningful life and not just busy one. By the end of this course, you will walk away with clarity, not just concept. You will know where your time is actually going, not where you assume it is going. You will understand why procrastination happens and what to do at the moment it shows up. You will identify your personal pattern of delay, because once you see it, you can break it. You will build one simple time management system that fits your actual life. Not a perfect system, but a working one. You will learn to create focus without relying on motivation. So even on low energy days, you will still move forward. You will know how to protect your time from distraction, especially from your phone. And you will learn how to use tools like AI in the way that saves time, instead of quietly wasting more on it. Module 1 is Understanding Time Loss, Procrastination and Productivity Barriers. Stop whatever you are doing. I want to ask you one question before we begin. Think about yesterday. Think about the whole day, from the time you woke up to the time you went to sleep. Now ask yourself honestly, how much of the day you actually went towards something that actually mattered to you? Your work, your studies, your family, your health, your goals. If your honest answer is not much, you are exactly in the right place. Today we are going to talk about time. Not the way most book teaches us, not with the complicated system that sounds good but falls apart in the real life. We are going to break this down that actually makes sense of your day, of your situation and your distraction. Let me walk you through exactly what we are going to cover. First, we are going to understand why time disappears even when you feel busy. What's happening in your brain? Why you are keep putting things off? Then we'll break down why people struggle differently and the real reason behind procrastination. After that, we'll build a system that fits you. And finally, we'll make it stick. And the real habit, real focus and one simple plan you can actually start today. By the end of this, you will not just know time management, you will know exactly what to do next. Before we go further, think about one thing you keep putting off and that you know you should be doing it right now. Keep that in mind as we go further together. So, in the module number 1, we have 3 different segments. We are going to start with the first segment, and that is the invisible time thief. Let me start with something I want you to think about. You sat down in the morning, you had to walk and you were ready. And then you looked up, half the day was gone. You did not watch a show, you did not slept, you did not work on a desk, your laptop was open, but the actual thing you needed to finish was barely touched. This does not happen to just one type of person. This happens to a student, manager, doctor, people running their own businesses. It does not matter what do you do. This feeling of time just disappearing is one of the most common experience in this world. And here is why this happens. Your brain has no internal clock. There is no part of your brain that tracks the time on its own. Your brain figures out what time is it based on the signal from outside. Light, hunger, sound, people around you. So when those signals disappear, when you put your headphones on, when you feel worried about something, then you fall into your phone, time becomes completely invisible. It just vanishes. And on top of that, there is a big difference between busy work and actual useful work. Busy work is when you're doing something that feels like working, but it does not actually doing anything, like it's not moving forward. Answering messages that does not really need answering. Organizing your decks. Scrolling through your phone to check something quickly. Redoing a to-do list you actually have already made. And useful work is when you have one thing to do and you actually do it. Most people spend their majority of day in busy work. Not because they are lazy, not at all, but because nobody ever showed them the difference. Think about Arjun. He's a software developer. He gets to the work at 9 a.m., opens his laptop and immediately checks messages. Then mails, and then a reply to few of those things. Then he makes his tea, and then he checks his notification. He reads an article that comes up. He joins a quick meeting. By 11, 4 hours later, He has not written a single line of actual code. He has been at work the entire time, but the actual task not touched. This is not just Arjun's fault. This is what happens when there is no clear boundary between doing things and doing the right things. So here's the first thing I want you to do. Just notice. Next time you are working, ask yourself this question. What exactly have I produced in last 60 minutes? Not what were you doing? What was actually produced or completed? That one question asked honestly will show you exactly where time goes. So let's see what we have just covered. Your brain has no built-in clock. It depends on outside signal to know what time is it. Busy work feels productive, but does not move anything important forward. Most people live in busy work all day without realizing it. The fix starts with one simple question. What did I actually produce in the last 1 hour? So with that, the segment number 1 is over. So let's start with the segment number 2. Procrastination is not what you think. Now I want to say something that I think is going to change the way you see yourself. Procrastination is not laziness. It is not a character flaw. It is not something that happens to people who are weak or do not care. Researchers who have years studying this have found something that surprises most people. Procrastination is not a time problem. It is a feeling problem. Think about the last thing you kept putting off. Now ask yourself, what did that task make you feel? Maybe it made you anxious. Maybe you were scared to getting it wrong. Maybe it reminded you of something uncomfortable. Or maybe it was just deeply boring or your brain was resisting it. That feeling is what you are avoiding, not the task itself. The feeling of task created inside you. Your brain is smart about protecting you. The moment you think about a task and feel something uncomfortable and even a little bit, your brain immediately says, okay, let us do something else. Let us check the phone. Let us get some water. Let us do literally anything that removes this feeling right now. You get temporary relief, but the task is still there. And now the guilt is sitting on the top of it. And here's the part that makes it even worse. The guilt makes you avoid even more next time. Research has found that when people are hard on themselves after putting things off, they delay even more the next time. The self-criticism feels like accountability. It is actually adding a fuel to the fire. Think about Priya. She's a student on an assignment due in 2 weeks. Every time she opens her laptop to start it, she gets a tight feeling in her chest. She thinks, what if I do it and it's wrong? What if it is not good enough? So she closes the tab and does not do anything else. Then she feels guilty. And then the guilt makes her avoid it even more. 2 days before the deadline, she's panicking and pulling an all-nighter. Priya is not lazy. She's avoiding the feeling. And nobody told her about that. So what do you actually do? 2 things. First, when you notice you are avoiding something, just name the feeling. Say it out loud or write it down. I'm avoiding this because I feel scared. I'm avoiding this because it feels too big. Just naming it takes some of its power away. That is how brain actually works. Second, shrink the task so small that the feeling becomes manageable. Do not say I am going to write a full report. Say I am going to write 1 sentence. Do not say I'm going to send an entire difficult message. Say I'm going to write just 1 line. Choose the smaller possible version of the task because once your hands are moving, the feeling changes. Starting is the hardest part. Once you have started, the rest comes way more naturally. So let's see what we have just covered. Procrastination is not laziness. It is your brain trying to avoid uncomfortable feeling. The guilt of procrastinating makes you avoid the work more next time. Name the feeling out loud. I'm avoiding this because I'm scared of it. It reduces its power. Shrink the task to its smallest possible versions so starting feels easy. So let's see one problem, one solution, and let's see how we can overcome that. So the problem is, like Priya, you keep putting off more important tasks for later. Not because you do not care, but because every time you think about it, it creates an uncomfortable feeling inside you. The solution for that problem would be understanding that you are not avoiding the task, you are avoiding the feeling that it creates. This is a real thing to address. Now, how we can overcome this? Step number 1, name the feeling. Write or say it out loud. I am avoiding this because whatever your reason is. Fill it with all your honesty. Step number 2, make your task small. Instead of writing the whole report, say I'm going to open the document and I'm going to write a date on the top or heading on the top, and that's it. Just start. Think of one thing you have been putting off this week. Write it down. Then write, I'm avoiding this feeling because. Write your reason. Write your answer with all honesty. Then write the smallest possible first step you can take. Not the whole week, just 1 or 2 minutes. Do that step before this video ends. And with that, we have completed our segment number 2. Let's begin with the segment number 3, and that is the loop that eats your day. So let me show you something that happens in nearly every day, in everyone's life. It is a loop, and everyone you see, it's following that loop. You will recognize it immediately. You'll sit down to do something important. There is a tiny moment of discomfort, that feeling we just talked about, and without even making a decision, you do something else instead. You check your phone, you open messages, you scroll for a few minutes, and that gives you a small shot of relief. Then you remember the task, a little more discomfort. So you do another small escape. Maybe you clean your decks, maybe you drink water, maybe you watch one more video. This goes on for hours. And here's the hard part. Every single thing in that loop feels like something. It is not obviously wasted time, but at the end of the day, the actual task is untouched. A researcher named Dr. Gloria Mark studied in the real workspace and found that after many kind of interruption, even very small short ones, the average person takes 23 minutes to fully get to their focus back. So if you check your phone for 10 minutes a day, you are not just losing 10 minutes, you are losing hours of your real focus, just from the recovery time alone. Think about Rahul. He runs a small business from home. He needs to finish a client proposal, maybe 90 minutes of actual work. But his day goes like he opens his laptop, gets a message, replies to a notification, opens it quickly, goes back to the proposal, types 2 lines, remember something he needs to check, gets pulled into another message, make tea, open music, gets pulled into the video. By evening, 6 hours later, the proposal is half done and Rahul is exhausted. Rahul is not wasting time. He lost his 23-minute chunks over and over again. The loop is not a discipline failure. The loop is powered by discomfort. When you fix the discomfort, the loop breaks. Here's one simple thing that actually helps. Before you start any work session, take 90 seconds. Write down the sentence, what will exist when I'll finish this session. Not I will work on the project, not I will write a first 3 sentences of a client proposal, or I will have replied to 2 most important messages. One specific output, something you can look at and say, yes, this exists now. When your brain has a clear destination and discomfort shrinks, and when the discomfort shrinks, the loop loses its power. Try this once today, just once, and see what happens. So let's see what we have just covered. There is a loop that eats your entire day. Discomfort leads to distraction, distraction gives relief, and then the cycle repeats. Every interruption costs 23 minutes of recovery time, not just the time you spend distracted. 10 phone checks in a day equals to hours lost. So the fix that we have currently with us, that is, before you start, write one sentence describing specific output from your task. Now let's see a problem, a solution, and how to overcome it. Let's say the problem is like Rahul, you sat down to work but keep falling into the distraction loop. Each escape feels harmless, but 23 minutes recovery window has added up and you can take out the entire day. The solution that we have here is the loop runs on discomfort. Give your brain a clear, specific destination before you start. This reduces the discomfort that powers the loop. Now, how we can overcome this? Before every work session, spend 90 seconds writing. By the time I finish this session, I will have XYZ. Whatever is the target. Make it one specific, concrete thing. Then start. Keep that sentence visible while you are working. So let's see what actions you can take right now. Before you continue, pause for 90 seconds. Write down this sentence. After this video, the one thing I will do is, whatever is your thing, fill it in. Make it one specific task. Keep it somewhere you will see when the video gets end. This is your brain's destination. identifying individual time management challenges and behavioral pattern. In the last module, we have covered why time disappears and how procrastination actually works. Now we are going to go deeper because the reason people struggle is not the same for everyone, and the fix is also not same for everyone either. In this module, we are going to understand your specific requirement, your specific pattern, and how you delay, and why your phone is most powerful thing that you have. The module number 2 is also further divided into 3 parts. Let's begin with the first part, and that is time looks different for everyone. Here is something that almost every time management book completely misses. Not everyone's life looks exactly the same. The system that works perfectly fine for one person can completely be impossible for someone else. Not because they are doing it in wrong way, but because the system was never built for them. Let me walk you through a few real life examples. Take a student preparing for exam like Sneha, who is studying for a big professional exam. She has deadlines that are both urgent and far away from the same time. She is in the world of constant group chats, social media, and constant comparison with friends. Her biggest problem is not knowing how to start because everything feels equally important and equally scary. Compared to someone like Meena, she's a working parent, her attention is broken into every minute. Something needs attention, someone calls from school, dinner needs to be ready. Research shows this takes 23 minutes to recover from family interruption as from the phone notification. For Meena, the challenges are different. It is about predicting a very tiny window of uninterrupted time and treating those windows like a gold. Then there is Vikram. He works for himself with no boss, no fixed hours, and no one for cracking over him. This sounds great, but it is also a trap. Without anyone holding him accountable, his brain naturally avoids the hard strategic work and fills the entire day with the things which feels productive but actually are not. And the important works get to push always at the end of the week. And then there is someone like Sunita. She manages her home full time. She works all day, cooking, cleaning for the family, managing everything, but her work has no defined timeline or boundaries. There is no official recognition. She's often most overwhelmed and least helped by everyone else in the family. And that is the point. Before you pick any system or strategy, the first question is, which of this situation actually is mine? A 5 a.m. morning routine that works for a single person with no dependence means nothing to a parent who is getting up 3 times at a night. A perfectly color-blocked calendar works for someone with a predictable schedule, not for someone who doesn't have a schedule, and the schedule changes every single minute. Know your situation first, and then find what fits. That is the only version of time management that actually lasts. So let's see what we have covered just now. Time management is different for every single one because every single one have different lives. Students need help starting, parents need their protective time window, and self-employed person needs accountability. A system that works for everyone might be completely wrong for your life. The first step is identifying which situation describes your life, then choosing what fits. And that's how our segment number 1 is over. Let's begin with segment number 2, the 4 reasons people delay. Now that you know your situation, the next thing is to understand your specific style of putting things off. Not everyone delays for the same reason, and the fix is completely different depending on what type is yours. There are 4 types. Let's see which one is most familiar for you. Let's talk about type 1. That is perfectionism. This one affects creative people the hardest. The writer, the designer, anyone who make things. The problem is not that they do not care. The problem is that they care too much. They can already imagine in their head how perfect and finished that thing should look like. And the first version they produce does not look anything like that picture. So they wait. They say they need more research, more time, more inspiration, but really they are protecting themselves from producing something that falls short of their own standards. Think about Karan. He's a graphic designer. He has been working on his personal portfolio from last 2 years. Every time he sits down to build it, he thinks this is not good enough right now and I will redo this. And he never publishes it. Meanwhile, people with portfolio half as good as his are getting opportunities. If this is you, the fix is to give yourself a permission to produce something imperfect. Write rough drafts for final. Now, let's begin with type 2. That is decision fatigue. This happens to people who make a lot of decisions throughout the day like manager, doctor, parents. By afternoon, their brain's decision-making capability are genuinely reduced. Studies have shown this repeatedly. For people with this pattern, the most important work should always happen in the morning. If your important task is happening after 2 p.m., you are working against your brain. Let's see the third type. That is, the deadline feels too far away. A deadline 3 weeks ago does not feel real bad. The discomfort of starting right now feels very real. So you choose not to start. This happens with health goal, savings, relationships, anything where the reward is in the future. Let's see type 4, and that is anticipatory dread. This is when the task is not technically hard, it is emotionally heavy. The difficult conversation you need to have, a financial review you have been avoiding for months, an appointment you keep postponing. The task in itself takes 20 minutes, but every time it shows up in your list, you give up and you push it away to tomorrow. The fix is put a strict timeline to everything you are going to do. If any task need less than 10 minutes, do it on the priority and make it over with. And almost every time once you start, the dread disappears because the dread lives in the anticipation, not in the actual doing. Now let's see what we have covered in this section. Type 1, perfectionism. You wait for perfect condition instead of starting. The fix is make the imperfect version on purpose first. Type 2, decision fatigue. Your brain gets tired of too many choices. Fix, do the most important task in the first thing in the morning. Type 3, faraway deadlines. Future consequences do not feel real. The fix here is make the consequences personal and specific in your mind. The type 4 is anticipatory dread. The task is emotionally heavy but not technically heavy. The fix that we have is give it 10 minutes of time and then start. Now that we have completed the segment number 2, let's begin with segment number 3, and that is your phone is not your friend right now. I need to talk about your phone, and I'm going to be very honest with you what it is actually doing. Your phone is not just a distraction. It is a word. That word is too innocent for what their phone actually is doing. Your phone is a tool that is designed by very deliberately, very smart people, by very well-paid people to feel like a break while they're actually using your complete attention. Every notification, every post that loads automatically, every video that plays right after the one you just watched, each of these are the result of thousands of hours of testing, and all are designed to keep you on the platform a little bit longer. It is not a secret, it is just how the product actually make money. They make money when your eyes are on their product. And here's what exactly happens in your brain when you pick up your phone. Even for just a second. You leave one task, you enter a completely different mental space. You process new information, you feel things, you feel curiosity, anxiety, and all different type of feeling. You respond to something and you try to go back to that feeling again and again. But your brain does not snap back. It takes on average 23 minutes to fully recover focus. Every time, even for a 30-second break, it takes hours to come back to the same original place. And here is what makes this especially important. The exact moment you are most tempted to check your phone is the exact moment you feel discomfort in your task. If you try to fight with willpower, you will lose. And you will never gonna go in a deep work. You cannot out-discipline a billion-dollar attention system. So stop trying. Remove it from the equation instead. Put your phone in different room. When you are doing something important, do not put the phone on the desk, not in the bag, in the different room. Study shows that the productivity goes up to significantly high when the phone is not visible on your eyesight. Think about Deepika. She's a content creator. She started doing this, putting her phone in a different room while she's working. In 3 weeks, she went from 400 words per hour to 900 words per hour. Same person, same brain, different room for the phone. Turn off all the notifications that are not from the people. Like every app, every news, every social media platforms, everything should be on off. Keep on your calls and calendar notifications. Everything else can wait, and nothing will actually get worse because it waited. So let's see what we have covered in the module number 2. Your phone is not just a distraction. It is a product designed to capture and hold your attention. Even 30 seconds of phone check can cost you multiple hours of time wasted. The most dangerous moment is when you feel task discomfort. That is exactly when the phone is most tempting. Physical separation works. Phone in the different room gets significantly higher productivity even without the willpower. Welcome to Module 3. By now, you understood why time disappears and why you delay. Now we get to the part most people jump the first. Which system should I choose? By now, you have seen why we saved this for the end. Because system that actually works is the one that fits your situation and your style of delay. Not the one that your friend uses and the one that targets a specific gap. Let me walk you through these 4 options. Simple and clear one. Pick the one that matches the gap that you feel the most. System 1. The Eisenhower Matrix. Every task you have gets sorted into 4 groups. Urgent and important, that is, do it right now. Important but not urgent, plan a specific time to do it. Urgent but not important, see if anyone else can do that. Not urgent and not important, just remove it completely from your list. The reason this works is that it forces you to actually honestly write about what matters to you. Most people treat everything as important and urgent, but when you actually separate them, you often find that the most truly important things like your long-term goals, your health, your relationship, are being pushed aside by the things that are feeling urgent but are not that important. Think about Rohit. He's a marketing manager. His to-do list has 22 items every morning. After using this framework, he realized 9 of those items are not important, and he removed that. He was giving the same attention to all of them, as only 3 items were actually drove results. Once he separated them, his whole day changed. System number 2, that is time blocking. Instead of to-do list, you have a schedule. You look at your day and assign a specific hour for a specific task. 9 to 10 is deep work, 10 to 11 is replies, 2 to 3 is for planning, and this works extremely well for the people whose biggest problem is their day is taken by others' priority. When your time is already assigned before the day starts, it is harder for anything to steal that. One important thing, always assume that tasks take longer than you think. Research shows people take 30 to 40% extra time that they assign themselves. So if you think something takes 1 hour, assign time of 90 minutes in your block. Now let's talk about system number 3, and that is Pomodoro Technique. You set a timer of 25 minutes and work on that one thing only. Then the timer goes off and you take a 5-minute break, and then you work again for 25 minutes. This is for the people whose biggest problem is starting. The timer makes it feel like a finite. You are not committing to finish the whole thing. You are committing to 25 minutes. That is all. And almost every time, once you start, the momentum carries for the forward naturally. System number 4, and that is MIT method. Most important task. Every morning before you open anything else, you ask yourself one question. What is the one thing, if I do it today, today will be the best day? Whatever that is the one thing you do it the first in the morning. Not after messages first, before anything else. This works the best for the people who end their day feeling busy somehow but still not satisfied with their work. It makes sure that the most important thing always gets done, no matter what happens around it. So let's see what we have covered in this section. Eisenhower Matrix. Sort tasks into 4 groups. Do for now, plan for later, delegate or remove. Time blocking. Assign a specific hour to a specific task before the day starts. Best for the people whose time gets taken by everyone else. Third, Pomodoro. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off break. Best for the people whose biggest problem is getting started. MIT. Most important task. Do the single most important task first before anything else. Best for the people who feel busy but did not accomplish anything. Now let's talk about segment number 2, and that is tools that actually breaks the delay right now. Along with your system, there are 4 practical tools. Think of these as things you keep in your kit. You do not use all at once, but pick the one which actually feels useful. Tool number 1. 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. Do not add it to your list. Do not schedule it. Do not come back to that. Do it immediately. Reply to that message. Put things away. Signs that you form. Here is why this matters. Small tasks that get postponed piles up in your brain even when you are not actively thinking about them. They take mental space. They create a background noise that it needs to be getting completed as soon as possible. Clearing them as they arrive, keep your mind free for the work that actually requires your real thinking. Tool number 2, and that is the implementation intention. In this research-backed technique, with surprisingly strong result, instead of saying I will work on this tomorrow, you say when it is 9 a.m., I will sit at my desk in the morning and drink my coffee and do the task. You are giving your future self a specific instruction, a time, a place, an action. Studies have found that this increases the follow-through by about 91% as compared to the general intentions. The specificity is the whole point. Think about the real difference. I will exercise is a wish. When I wake up tomorrow, I'll put my shoes and I walk out from that door is a plan. Tool number 3, that is temptation bundling. You pair a task you do not enjoy with something you genuinely love. You listen to your favorite podcast while doing your admin work. Only have your favorite drink when you're working on a difficult task. Only watch that show you love while doing the work you have been avoiding. Overall, your brain starts connecting the task with the thing you enjoy. The task becomes something you love to do, and you will look forward to that. Ananya, who works as accountant, used this in her most dreaded task, entering client data into spreadsheet. She only allowed herself to listen to her favorite podcast while working on it. Within 2 weeks, she started actually looking forward to the data entry days. Tool number 4, and that is self-compassion reset. When you have put something off and you feel guilty about it, a normal response is to be hard on yourself. That feels like accountability. But the research shows that the self-criticism after delaying makes the next delay more likely. The guilt becomes another uncomfortable feeling. Your brain tries to escape that feeling. The reset is 3 sentences. Say them when you notice you have delayed. I have not done this yet. It is okay. I am starting now. And then start. Do not explain the delay. Do not analyze it. 3 sentences and a start. Now let's see what we have covered in this section. 2-minute rule. If it takes under 2 minutes, do it right now. A small undone task drains mental energy all day. Implementation intention. When a specific time and a place, I will do specific one action increases follow through by 91%. Temptation bundling. Pair a disliked task with something you love. Your brain learns to associate them positively. Self-compassion reset. I have not done this yet. That is okay. I am starting now. Self-criticism makes the next delay worse, not better. Segment number 3, that is saying no is a time management skill. There is one more thing that matters a lot for managing your time, and it is almost never get talked about in this context. That is saying no. Every time you are saying yes to something, you should know that you are saying no to something else. Your time is not unlimited. Everything you agree to do is coming from somewhere. It is coming from your health, it is coming from the most important task, and from the people and things you care about the most. Most people find saying no is very difficult. In many cultures, saying no directly can feel rude or harmful for the relationship. This makes it even harder. Think about this. Your colleague asks you to help with their presentation, and the same week you have your own deadlines. You say yes because saying no feels uncomfortable, but now your work suffers. Now you feel resentment, even though the other person have not done anything. The yes that you have given is creating the problem. Here's how to redirect without damaging the relationship. Knowing the request first. Tell the person you understand it matters and you appreciate them thinking about you. Then explain what is actually going right now, briefly and honestly. Then offer a specific alternative, a different time, a reduced version of the help, or another person who might able to assist them better. You are not saying no to the person, you are redirecting the request in a respectful way. For example, I really want to help with this. Right now, I'm working against my own deadline this week. Can I look at this next week and give you the feedback then? This is not a no. This is thoughtful redirect. The person feels respected. You protected your time, no relationship damaged. And on delegation, if you have people around you who can take care of something, let them do that. Most people hand over the task but do not give the permission to make decision about it. Then the work comes back to them with 100 questions. When you give someone a task, also give them the information they need and the permission to decide, and one clear picture of what it should look like, and then step back. So what we have covered in this section? Every yes to the wrong thing is a no to the right thing. Your time is finite resource. You can redirect your request respectfully instead of saying no right away. The redirect formula is acknowledge, explain the situation, then offer an alternative. When delegating gives the task plus the permission to decide plus the clear picture of what needs to be done, it's much more easier. Welcome to Module 4. We have covered why time disappears, why you delay, and which system and tools fits your life. Now, the most important question. How can we make it last? Not the 3 days after you feel inspired, but for real, over time, without depending on motivation. This is what the module is about. Segment number 1. What focus actually feels like. I want to talk about focus because there is something about real deep focus. Giving one thing your complete attention. The most of us have honestly forgotten how to experience that. Here is something that surprises people every time they hear it for the first time. Multitasking does not exist. Not the way you think it does. What we call multitasking is your brain switching between tasks very quickly. So fast that it feels like doing both things at once. But the research from MIT has found that the brain can only truly process one thing at a time. Every switch has a cost. You lose a little context. You make a few more errors and you get more tired. And here is the part that really gets people. People who consider themselves great at multitasking, on average, actually worse at focusing than people who do not. The confidence comes from how they do it, not from how well it works. Think about Neha. She's a product manager. She's proud of her abilities to be on call, reply to messages, and review the documents at the same time. But when she actually tested her own output, counting errors, tracking decision-making, she was constantly producing worse work during multitasking sessions than during the single focus sessions. Same person, same intelligence, less quality. The alternative is giving one thing your full undivided attention by sustained block of time. No switching, no checking, just one thing. This is where your best thinking happens, and this is where progress gets made. This is the kind of work you are actually proud at the end of the day. Now here is why this is hard to build. The first 10 to 15 minutes of focus deeply feels genuinely uncomfortable. Your mind produces other thoughts, worries, things to check, ideas for later. This is your brain's natural wandering mode pushing back. Most people read this discomfort as a sign they need to break or should switch the task. But if you stay with it, just stay. Just keep returning attention to the one thing, the discomfort passes. And what comes after that is a real focus. The way to build is simple. Work on one task at a time. One focused block per day, 40 to 60 minutes. Phone in the another room, one task written down before you start. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back without judging yourself for wandering. Do it every day. Within 3 weeks, the uncomfortable opening period gets sorted. Within 6 weeks, defocus starts to feel real. The one thing most productivity conversation ignore completely, and that is sleep. Research shows people who are not getting enough sleep loses far more than the hours of staying awake. A well-rested 5 hours a day will be almost produce more work than the exhausted 10 hours a day. Sleep is not lazy. Sleep is a strategy. So let's see what we have covered in this section. Multitasking is a myth. Your brain switches rapidly between tasks. Every switch costs quality and energy. People who multitask most are actually worse at focusing. The confidence comes from frequency, not the effectiveness. The first 10 to 15 minutes of deep focus feels uncomfortable. Most people quit here, but this is the exact place to start. Sleep is not luxury. Insufficient sleep destroys concentration, decision quality, and emotional control. So let's begin with the segment number 2, and that is building habits that do not need willpower. And here is why most people fail. When they are trying to change their relationship with time, they rely on motivation. Motivation is not reliable. Motivation depends on how you feel, and how you feel changes, sometimes days or sometimes hours. If your system requires you to feel motivated in order to work, it will fail every time motivation is low, which if you are honest is often. What actually works instead of motivation is habit. A habit is a behavior that has become automatic. It does not require a decision. It does not require a motivation. It is just because the pattern is established in your brain. James Clear, who wrote a book called Atomic Habit, explained this with powerful shift in thinking. Forget goals, forget outcome. Focus on identity instead. Instead of I want to stop putting things off, try I am someone who does uncomfortable tasks right away. Every action you take either confirms that the identity or contradicts it. And the more you confirm it, the more atomic the behavior becomes. And you stop needing willpower because you are just acting like who you are. The science of how habit forms involves a simple loop: a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. To build a new time habit, you need to design each part deliberately. Cue should be something that already happens reliably. Making a morning drink, setting down your decks, finishing lunch. Attach your new behavior to that something already exists. The response, the actual new behavior, should be extremely small at first. Much smaller than it feels meaningful. Not I will do the 2 hours of deep work, but I will open my documents and write one sentence. And the reward should be real and immediate. Not I feel proud in a month, but I can now have 10 minutes of guilt-free phone time right now. The researcher at Stanford named J.B. Fogg found that the smaller the starting behavior, the more reliable it sticks. A behavior so small that it feels almost silly, that is exactly the right size, because it removes every possible excuse not to do it. Think about Suresh. He's an accountant trying to read more professionally in last 2 years. He kept failing because he set the goal as 1 chapter per day. Instead, he tried this. Every morning after making his drink, he opens a book to the bookmark and read 1 paragraph. Just 1. Some day that is all he read. But most days, 1 paragraph became 5 lines and then a chapter. In 2 months, he had finished 4 books. The tiny start was the whole secret. Find your anchor. 1 small, reliable behavior that signals to your brain that focus time is beginning. It does not need to be impressive. It does not need to be consistent. So let's see what we have covered in this section. Motivation is not reliable. Habits are. Habits do not need motivation once they are built. And then we had identity shift. Instead of I want to do X, say I am someone who does X and acts from their identity. Identity shift. Instead of I want to do X, say I am someone who does X. And the act of identity shift helps the best. Habit loop. Cue form, existing trigger. Tiny response, immediate rewards. Design all 3 deliberately. Then we also have learned the smaller the starting behavior, the more reliable it will be to stick. 1 paragraph, 1 sentence, 1 minute. Like this. We are at the last part of the session, and rather than just summarizing everything, I want to leave you with something to do. Something that takes 10 minutes and will honestly be more useful than anything else, I would say. Take 1 piece of paper, write 4 things. First, when does your brain feel sharpest during the day? Morning, midday, evening. That window is where your most important work will be done. Protect it like the most important meeting. Do not fill it with messages and notifications and things that does not matter. Fill it with work that actually moves your life forward. Second, what is the biggest pattern to delay? From everything we have covered today, is it perfectionism, where you wait for the perfect version instead of starting? Decision fatigue, when your brains run out by afternoon? The feeling that deadline is still far away, where the task feels emotionally heavy even if it's short? And next time, write the 1 specific fix that matches your pattern. Third, which of the 4 systems fits your life? The Eisenhower Matrix for sorting what actually matters, time blocking for protecting your schedule, Pomodoro for those days when starting feels impossible, or MIT, most important task for making sure that the most meaningful thing is already done before the day starts. Just pick 1, not all of 4. Fourth, what is your anchor habit? A small specific thing you will do tomorrow morning before anything else. Write this formula. After I, then write existing thing that always happens. I will, and then write tiny new action. Make it so small that it feels silly. This is exactly how it sticks. 1 page, 4 things. Take photo of it, put it somewhere you will see the first thing every day. Here is what I want to leave you with. Time management is not about becoming more serious person. It is not about becoming disciplined in something abstract, uncomfortable way. It is about this. The project that matters to you, the relationship you want to invest in, the goals that keep getting pushed to someday. They deserve actual time in your actual day. Not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel comfortably ready. Now, you do not become a different person first and then manage time better. You manage time better and then you become a different person. Start with that one page. Start today. So let's see what we have covered in this segment. Find your sharpest time of the day. That is where the most important tasks belong. Know your specific delay pattern and keep the matching fix ready to use. Pick one system and use it for the full week before deciding it works or it does not. Design one anchor habit so small it does not fail. This is how lasting change actually starts. Welcome to the final module of this course. You now understand why time disappears, why you delay, how to pick the right system, how you build habits that actually last. Now we are going to talk about something that is changing everything right now. Artificial intelligence. AI tools are all around us, but most people are either not using them at all or using them the way that is wasting their time. In this module, we are going to fix that. You will learn exactly which tools to use, how to use them, how they solve your specific problems. Let us start with the most important idea of the whole module. AI will not manage your time for you, but it will handle the part of your day that eats your time without giving anything important back. Think about all a small thing that happens every day. Replying to emails, summarizing a long document, figuring out what to do first, writing the first draft of something, searching for information. These things are not hard, but they take a lot of time. And when they pile up, they push your real work towards the end of the day, when your energy is already very low. This is exactly where AI becomes useful. Not for thinking, not for making your big decisions, but for handling small, repetitive, time-eating tasks so that you can have more space for the work that you actually need to do. Think about Arjun from module number 1. The software developer who lost 4 hours every morning messaging and emailing before writing a single line of code. If Arjun used an AI tool to draft his email replies every morning, he would have cut that time 60 minutes to 15 minutes. Same output 1/4 of the time. This is not magic, it is using the right tool at the right time. The key rule is this. Use AI for execution, not for thinking. Your thinking, your ideas, your decisions, your judgment, that is yours. AI handles the doing. You keep deciding what we just covered. AI does not manage your time. It handles the small tasks that eat your time without adding value. Email, summarizing, drafts, searching, these are the jobs AI is built for. Use AI for execution, not for thinking. Your judgment stays yours. When AI handles small tasks, you get a real time back to the work that matters. Now let us get specific. Here are the 4 AI tools that directly solve the time problem we talked about in the previous modules. Not in a general way, in very specific practical way. Tool number 1, ChatGPT or Claude for writing and drafting. If you spend time writing mails, reports, messages, proposals or any kind of document, these tools will change your day immediately. And here's how it works. Instead of staring at the blank page trying to figure out what to write, you tell AI what you need in the plain words. You say something like, write a short professional email inclining a meeting request politely, or help me write the first paragraph of the report of our sales result this month. The AI gives you the starting point in seconds. You read it, adjust it to sound like you, and send it. Remember Priya from module number 1? The student who kept avoiding her assessment because she did not know how to start? This is exactly her problem. A blank page was the wall. With AI, there is no blank page. There is always a starting point. And once you have the starting point, the dread goes away. This tool directly solves the perfectionism delay and the anticipatory dead delay we talked about in the module number 2. Because the first version already exists, there is no longer starting from nothing. You just start improving something. Tool number 2, Notion AI or Microsoft Copilot for planning and organizing. These tools sit inside your notes and documents and help you think through your day and your work. Here is a simple way to use this. Every morning, open your Notes app and tell AI, here is my task for today. Help me decide what to do first and in what order. The AI will look at what you have written and give you a suggested plan. You do not have to follow it exactly. But having a suggested structure removes the decision fatigue we have talked about in the module number 2. Remember decision fatigue? When your brain gets tired of making too many choices. By the afternoon, your ability to decide what to do next genuinely reduces. If AI handles the planning in the morning, your brain stays fresh for the actual work. Notion AI can also summarize long documents, turn messy notes into a clear bullet point, and remind you what you have decided in the previous meeting. All of this time you get back. Tool number 3. Reclaim AI or motion for calendar management. This is the one most people have never heard about, and it is the most powerful time management tool. This tool connects your calendar and automatically schedule your task into the suitable time. You tell it, I need to finish this report. It will take 2 hours and it will find the right time in your week and block it for you. It also moves things around automatically if a meeting gets added or something changes. Remember time blocking from module number 3? That system works brilliantly, but the hard part is actually doing and blocking every day. This tool does the blocking for you. It takes a system you already know and worked on and remove the steps where people gives up. Think about Mira, the working parent, whose day breaks into small pieces every few minutes. She cannot sit and plan a perfect week on Sunday night. But if a tool does the planning automatically and update it as her day changes, she gets the benefit of time block without needing the time to do it by herself. Tool number 4. Otter AI or Fireflies for meeting and conversations. If you spend time on meeting, online or in person, this tool gives you back a significant part of your day. This tool records your meeting and automatically writes out everything they said. They also pull out the key points and the action item that the people agreed to do. After 6 minutes of meeting, instead of spending 20 minutes writing notes, you have summary ready in the second. Here is why this matters for time management. Most people lose 20 to 30 minutes after every meeting trying to remember what was decided and write it down before they forget. Over a week with a 5 or 6 meeting, that is 2 to 3 hours of your time gone. This tool gives those hours back. What we have just covered. ChatGPT or Claude removes the blank page problem, solve perfectionism and anticipatory debt. Notion AI and Microsoft Copilot plans your day, reduces decision fatigue in the morning. Reclaim AI or Motion does time blocking automatically. You get the system without the effort. Outer AI or Fireflies writes your meeting notes for you and save 2 to 3 hours every week. So module 5.3, how to use AI without losing your focus. Here is something important to say, because this happens to a lot of people. AI tool can become distraction, and that would be the worst possible outcome. You open ChatGPT to get help for writing something, and then you start asking the random question, and then you spend 40 minutes exploring the idea that has nothing to do with the original task. You close the tab having produced nothing that you needed. This is not AI's fault. This is the same loop that we have talked about in the module 1. The discomfort of the task sends you somewhere easier. AI just happens to be the escape route. So here's a simple rule. Before you open an AI tool, write down the one thing that you need to do. What exactly do you need this tool to do? And then you open it and get that one thing done, and then close it. Treat AI the same way we talked about social media in module 2. Schedule it, use it with purpose, close it when you are done with it. Do not let it become another place where you waste your attention. There is also a second thing to watch out. Using AI to avoid real thinking. There will be moments you have to make a hard decision, think through a problem, or write something that genuinely requires your judgment. These are not the tasks to use AI. These are the tasks where you use your thinking to get to the point. So if you use AI to skip your thinking, you skip the most valuable thing you bring to the work. The idea, the judgment, the experience, all those are yours. Use AI to save time on everything around those things, not on the things themselves. Think about Vikram from module 2, the self-employed person who fills his entire day with the easy tasks to avoid the hard strategic work. If Vikram uses AI to think instead of doing his own hard thinking, he has not solved his own problem. He just found the smarter looking way to avoid it. Real time management means protecting the time that you have for the best thinking and using AI to clear everything else in your way. So what we have covered. AI can become a distraction. Write down what you need before you open the tool. Treat AI the same way as social media. Use it with a clear purpose and then close it. Do not use AI to skip your real thinking. The judgment is the most valuable thing that you bring. AI clears the space around for the best thinking. It does not replace it. Before you move on, let us bring everything together into a few clear ideas you can actually carry into your day. Time does not disappear randomly. It disappears when there is no clear direction about what matters in the moment. Procrastination is not laziness. It is your brain trying to avoid discomfort. When you handle the feeling, the action becomes easier. Busy does not mean productive. If nothing real was produced, the days still feel empty, no matter how full it looked. Your problem is not the same as everyone else. Your system should match your life, your energy, your pattern of the delay, not someone else's routine. You do not need 10 different methods. One simple system used constantly will always beat 5 systems used occasionally. Your phone is not a distraction. It is the biggest external force competing for your attention, and managing it is not an optional anymore. Focus is not instant. The first 10 to 15 minutes will always feel uncomfortable, and that is not failure, that is the entry point. Motivation will always fail. Habit will not. Make your starting steps so small that you cannot avoid it. You are not paid to be constantly available. You are valued for the quality of your thinking, and that requires rest. AI can save your time or waste it. Use it for execution, not for avoiding real thinking. And finally, this is the one that matters the most. Time management is not about doing more. It is about making sure thing that matters to you actually happens in your real life, not just in your plans.